All right. Hello. Hello. It is time for the third part of 4 essential steps to consistent 10K plus months. I'm Stacie Walker, digital marketing expert and business strategist for coaches, consultants, and healers. And I help them attract their dream clients and make consistent cash flow in a way that's aligned with their mission, vision, and personality. So, this 4-part training will help you go from spinning your wheels to making 10K or more a month consistently using a step-by-step framework to amplify your visibility, attract dream clients or customers, make a bigger impact, and increase your cash flow. Doesn't that sound absolutely amazing? So, not only that, you're going to fast track the success of your business, and you're also going to avoid common roadblocks that slow down most coaches, consultants, and healers today. Now, before I get started with a quick recap of yesterday, or part 2, I should say, if you want to get the most out of this training, please know that this is an interactive class, whether you're watching the live version or the replay. If you have any questions, put them in the comments if you're watching this in the Elite Society of Ambitious Women's Facebook group. If not, if you're not there and you're watching the replay and you have a question about anything that I'm going over today, send an email. Just send me a message at me@staciewalker.com. And on the screen, you should see the email address. So it's me@staciewalker.com. So whether you're watching live or the replay on demand version, you're more than welcome to email me. Okay, I'm here to support you every step of the way. So let's do a quick recap of part 2. Like, what did we start off with yesterday? And there was also an implementation workbook for you to complete. Hopefully you have completed it and you have identified some holes in your business model. So what we talked about during part 2 was we started talking about the first component of the attract, engage, and profit framework. And the attract, engage, and profit framework helps you attract dream clients and customers using aligned marketing strategies, and it also repels the wrong people. So no more people. It filters out the people that are just not committed enough yet to work with you directly or indirectly. It's the people that repel the people that are the tire kickers, that have no intention of buying your products or services, that are trying to get things for free. You repel them because you're not supposed to work with anyone and everyone. So that's what the first component of the attract, engage, and profit framework does. Second component is the engagement component, where you get to engage with your dream clients and customers in a way that builds trust and also positions you as the expert, which is so important because this helps people see that you mean business, and also they're able to understand the value of your product or service. And then the framework also helps you profit with a rinse and repeat sales system that actually makes it easy for your dream clients and customers to invest in your offers, not just once, but over and over and over again, especially since what you have to offer is absolutely amazing. Okay, so let's talk about those 3 components of the attraction phase. So the first one is really knowing who your dream client is and who your dream client isn't. The second is your pillar content, known as your messaging, that gets the attention of your dream client or customer. And then the third component is your distribution channel, which is basically the way that you share your message and your pillar content to get the attention of your dream clients and customers. So a distribution channel is Facebook or Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, wherever there are a lot of people at. It's a platform that's not yours. It's a channel for you to get the attention of the people that are a good fit to work with you. So that was essentially what we went over during the second part. And with the implementation exercises that you did, you're able to really redefine and tweak who your dream client is or is not. You're deciding if you're still aligned with the distribution channel that you've been using so far, or you've narrowed down to just one. And also you're better understanding the psychology of your dream client or customer, like what he or she is experiencing right now. I'm talking about mentally, physically, emotionally, circumstances, like what's going on in their life right now that's relevant to the problem that they're experiencing, right? The problem that you can solve, and then also understanding what they want, where they want to be. So you really need to understand the inside and out of your dream client and customer and communicate this to them through the content that you're sharing on your distribution channel. So I want to talk about like my business before developing the Attract, Engage, and Profit framework. I really have not said too much about me. I mean, this training is about you, of course, but maybe you're not too familiar about my history. And I wanted to share a little bit of this with you. That way you see why I created this framework, and also how it's not only effective for me, but also the people that have applied the framework to their business. So the first 5 years of my business were a nightmare, a complete nightmare. I was a hot mess. I had no real process or marketing strategy that felt good. Matter of fact, I really just had a medley of things, just like this puzzle that you see on the screen. It was just all these medley of things, like put together from attending multiple free training classes and investing in low cost courses. So for the first 5 years, I was completely DIYing my business from 2008 to 2013. And it was pretty rough. And I was just so stubborn. I mean, looking back now, I was just stubborn. And it really, if I would have just asked for help in the beginning, I would have avoided so many mistakes. But I'm a self-learner. I'm stubborn. It was hard for me to ask for help back then because of my pride and my ego. Not guess, I know it was because of that. And today, I have a totally different perspective on that. I mean, successful people have coaches, have mentors, have guides and advisors to help them get to whatever next level in their life, their business, their health, finances. So it totally makes sense to me now, but it didn't make sense to me then. Even though those were the rough years, I had a deep passion for designing an incredible life, doing what I love. Before I became an entrepreneur, I worked in the corporate world. I job hopped a lot. I was never happy with wherever I worked. There was always something missing. There was like this hole inside of my heart. And I thought for the longest time there was something wrong with me. And, I think the thing that really made me feel alive again was like when I was actually on my deathbed. I had almost died. I was on bed rest for almost a year, and I had been thrusted into entrepreneurship because I could not work my regular 9 to 5 at the UT Health Science Center in San Antonio in the psychiatry department. Couldn't work there anymore because I was recovering from, my body almost dying due to complications with my liver. And it wasn't until then that I dove into entrepreneurship and learned about this whole online world. And back in 2008, I mean, things were completely different than they are now. I mean, right now it is a walk in the park with building a business online. I mean, there were resources online back then, but nothing like it is today. Nothing at all. But with that passion, that deep craving that I had, I didn't have all the clarity then, but I knew that I was on the right track. And despite those rough years, I managed to make money, but it was sporadic. It was so sporadic. It wasn't dependable. It was stressful, more stressful than I think I had ever experienced, because it was dependent on me, not a job, but dependent on me to make the income. So it was pretty stressful because, my oldest son was young. I was in my first marriage, and, my first husband, he could not even pay all the bills because I was the breadwinner, because I had the the job, the cushy career where you could retire at. So it was pretty stressful. But anyway, it wasn't until I developed the Attract, Engage, and Profit framework that I started seeing insane results in my business and consistent cash flow. That was in 2013. My business exploded. Now, since the framework was in its infancy then, there was still a lot missing from it. And I ended up burning myself out because I was so obsessed with getting it right. And I was working 80 plus hours. I did have help. I had my assistant, I had my coach, but the thing was, I asked for help. I was open to receiving help, like, too late. So I ended up burning myself out, took 2 years off from my business. In that 2-year period, I ended up getting pregnant, had my youngest son, Jordan, at 40. And then I decided I was ready to come back to my business. And I knew that I needed to tweak the framework again when I came back, to make sure that I would never, ever, ever burn myself out. And I would create it to where, of course, systems are built to where I'm not working all the time. And I always share about how I take a week off every month and 2 days off a week from my business, so I can spend time with my family, rest and recuperate, or do whatever I want. And I don't have to worry if my business is going to fall apart. My content still goes out, then my money's still being made through my business while I'm gone. And I know that there's a lot of people that come to me and they're not able to walk away from their businesses, without worrying if their business is going to fall apart. And that might be your situation. Well, the framework solves that for you. So, even years later, I continue to apply this framework, and it gets more effective and optimized. And I continue, it's just like this momentum. It's like this client attracting machine, and I love it. I'm not working any harder. Matter of fact, I'm starting to work less as time moves forward. And I do not have a big team at all. It's a team of 3, including me. And as I continue to apply this framework to my business, everything's pretty predictable, and it's exciting because I created something that not only helps me, but also the clients that I work with. So knowing exactly what to do, when to do it, and taking intentional action has been the biggest game changer in my business. But I mean, it's more exciting for me to see my clients getting amazing results, better than what I've even gotten, which is fine with me. I mean, that's what makes me happy, because I know it just doesn't work for me. It works for them in their own unique way. And I'll show you a couple of client case studies in a moment. I've been sharing testimonials, case studies from my clients that I've worked with over the years who have applied the framework to their businesses. So basically, the Attract, Engage, and Profit framework, let me change this. There we go. The Attract, Engage, and Profit framework helps you finally design a solid foundational structure to fast track your business growth. So what do I mean by that? It's a foundation because, see, I know one thing that I remember clearly during the first 5 years of my business was that I was piecing things together. There were some things I had no business even applying to my business yet because I wasn't in the right growth stage of my business. And that's what I see a lot of people doing that are building their businesses. They're trying to apply strategies and marketing tactics and buying these tools that aren't even appropriate for where they are in their business. And with the Attract, Engage, and Profit framework, it's actually the foundation. You need a strong foundation of your business first set up before you can start making the consistent income and attract the consistent, flow of people coming in to work with you. So it's your foundation. And usually when I have my clients go through this framework, like especially with the implementation workbook that you're doing during this series, you're actually laying out the foundation through the implementation exercises, because if you miss any of those foundational pieces, you're not going to get the consistency and the predictability that you need in order to hit 10K or more a month. So some of you are missing, like maybe you're great with sales, but you have a hard time attracting the right people. Like you're not getting the flow of leads. Maybe you've nailed down the lead generation, but you haven't nailed down the sales. Maybe you nailed down the sales and lead generation, but you haven't nailed down the positioning. Well, the Attract, Engage, and Profit framework takes care of everything you need to take a client from not knowing you to trusting you to ultimately buying from you. So it's a whole client attraction system. All the pieces are connected. You're able to identify where the gaps are in your business model, which is what I absolutely love about this framework. So once you have the framework, and once you follow the framework, you have an advanced marketing and sales system in place to work like a machine for you. So you can step away from your business when you want and still make the money, still have the clients and cash flow. And this can work through organic marketing and paid advertising, paid marketing. So yeah, that's what's great about this framework, because it's not a piece of the whole. Like there's so many people out there teaching you a piece of the whole. You need the whole shebang. You need the whole foundation in place for it to work right. And that's where I see the gap, in the industry, is that so many people are just teaching pieces of the whole, and you need the whole in order for this to work right. So let's talk about the engagement phase, because I'm looking at the time and I don't want to keep you too long today because you have work to do with the implementation workbook today. So there's 3 components of the engagement phase. The first is showcasing your expertise with educational training content. So that pretty much looks like what I'm doing right here. I'll go into more details about that in a moment. The second component is to build a library of credibility boosters to establish yourself as an authority in your area of expertise and leverage other people's audiences. And the third part of the engagement phase is organizing collaboration projects to expand your network and amplify your visibility. So let me go over to the first one. Let me dive deep into the educational training content. So the reason why this is important is because it helps you generate leads. It helps you build relationships with your potential clients and customers. And also, once you generate leads and grow your email list, the saying, the money's in the list. Well, you have a database of potential buyers. So this right here, this whole training series is an educational content where I'm basically showing you exactly how the framework, how it works, like what it is, what's the framework, how it will work for your business, what results you will get. And this is a piece that I see so many people missing. And it's like the number one mistake, not using educational content to grow your email list. Here's the thing. If you're building a following on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, it is so important for you to guide people, the right people, like the people who are your target audience, off of those platforms and into your own container, like your database, an email marketing database, because you do not own any of these platforms. We do not own them, which means we don't have any control over them. So once you guide these people off of the platforms, you're able to stay in contact with them for as long as you want until they decide they opt out or they decide that they want to invest in whatever you have to offer. But even then, you can still, sell to the people that have bought from you before, which is absolutely the easiest way for you to continue to make money in your business. So educational content like webinars, challenges, email courses, and see, you can do this any way that you want. You don't have to do it the way that I'm doing it. I provide all different types of educational training. The main way that I do it is in my Facebook group every week. So if people are not in my Facebook group, I'm still able to contact them on my email list and let them know about a training that I have going on. And for the people that aren't in my Facebook group, that aren't a part of my audience, well, I'm able to get them on my list. Then I direct them to my Facebook group. And ideally, I want them to join my group so I can connect with them on a deeper level. But if not, they're still on my list, right? And this is what I see so many people missing. So if you are providing any type of educational training, whether you're doing live streams on Facebook or Instagram, make sure that you are giving people an incentive to get on your email list. So for example, I have a client that provides some type of cheat sheet whenever she does her live streams on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So she's able to get people on her list that are watching the live stream. So she makes sure that she lets people know that if they would like a list of the top 10 resources, to click the link that's in the comments of the live stream. That way, the most engaged people will get on her list, and that lets her know who is her target audience, like who is her target audience, because they're getting on her list, and she knows those are going to be potential clients and customers. So make sure that if you are doing any type of live streams, providing any type of educational content, be sure to lead people off of the platforms and onto your email list. Now, you can still build your following on these platforms, but your number one goal is to get them on your email list, because that way you're able to make money passively. You're able to make money actively, on the social platforms and on your email list, right? And through the educational training or educational content. Okay, the number 2 mistake is not educating your dream clients and customers on how your product or service will help them get the results. So let me use this training series for an example. So I'm getting ready to open up doors for my program, Attract, Engage, and Profit Incubator, and that's where I work with my clients for 4 months and help them build out the foundation of their business so they can make consistent income and attract clients and customers consistently by using the Attract, Engage, and Profit framework. So what I'm doing first is educating you and the rest of the attendees on the value of the framework, right? Of like what exactly you will be doing in order to build out the foundation for your business for long-term sustainability. Like the Attract, Engage, and Profit framework is not a tactic, right? It's not something that's not going to go out of style. It's the foundational pieces that you need in any business in order for it to be profitable and sustainable. So it is very important for me to educate you on this and help you better understand like what could be missing in your business model that's keeping you from making the consistent money and making an impact in people's lives with your unique gifts. So you want to make sure that you are educating your audience on how your product or service is going to help them get the results. Okay. Second component of the framework is the credibility boosters. So credibility boosters are known as you getting featured somewhere, podcasts and major media publications and summits, in-person events, online events. What else? Online conferences, live stream shows, YouTube shows, Instagram shows. I mean, anywhere where you get featured and get in front of other people's or platforms, audiences. So this builds your credibility, and this is something that you should be doing on a regular basis. So I help my clients in this area get featured at least twice a month minimum, right? And this doing so positions you as the expert. People take you more seriously because they, you know, I mean, it's just like you seeing your favorite celebrity on, I don't know, some talk show. I'm not too sure because I don't watch too much TV these days, but when you see someone featured on a major media in a major media publication, automatically you're like, wow, that person means business. They look credible, right? I mean, that platform is basically vouching for them. So basically this is what you're doing too. And it positions you as the expert. It's not as hard as you might assume. I used to think it would be a challenge to get featured in places, and I came to realize it's pretty darn easy if you know what you're doing. And I teach my clients how to do that. It also builds trust with your audience because other people are vouching for you. Other people or platforms are vouching for you. So that must mean that you are credible, right? And this is a whole perception thing. Also, when you do get featured in places, it's a way for you to generate leads. It's a way for you to attract new people into your world from other platforms. So the number one mistake that I see in this area is not getting featured on podcasts and media publication platforms to leverage OPA. And OPA stands for other people's or platforms, audiences, to build your authority, especially if you are new, a new consultant, coach, or healer, and you're not making consistent income, you have a small audience. Because, I mean, if you don't have an audience, you don't have the credibility yet, you don't have the momentum going in your business, the smartest thing that you can do is get featured as much as possible. And this is what I highly recommend my clients, whether they are brand new or not, they've been doing it for a while, to always leverage other people's or platforms' audiences, because it creates leverage that you cannot create by yourself. It creates leverage where you cannot create it by yourself. The second mistake is not using featured opportunities to grow your list. So you get featured on a podcast, you have to make sure that you provide some type of gift or free resource for the audience that, you know, for the audience that your podcast is on, right? Or in the media publication, wherever it's at. It could be an in-person event. The goal, and the top people do this. If you really pay attention, you will notice this. And this is something that you can do, right? It's the subtle things that we think that doesn't make a big difference, but I'm very good at observing what other people do. So if you really pay attention and study, you will notice that if you see a top influencer or a top person in your industry or niche, whatever you do, and they get featured on a podcast or in a major media publication or they get featured in an in-person or online event, you will see that they will either have a book, they'll ask you to download a free resource or sign up to get like a voucher. Basically, they're trying to funnel people into their database. So this is something that you will do too. That way, you're still attracting consistent people your way, your target audience your way, because the people that want that resource, whatever it is, whether it's a voucher, a PDF, a video, a training, whatever it is, they're getting on your list, which means that they're interested in what you have to offer. And of course, the thing that you're offering is connected to the product or service that you're selling. I see so many people leaving this out. And it's like, if you're going to use somebody else's platform, be sure to have a way for the audience that's interested in you to give them a next step so they can continue to be in your world. All right. All right. Next thing is collaboration projects. So what do I mean by this? Organizing collaboration projects. So for those of you who are familiar with me, you know that I have been organizing collaboration projects, online events, like virtual summits, training series. And basically I organize an event to where, and it can be as big as or as small as you want. I have had clients that organize a collaboration project of 5 people. And I have some that organize collaboration projects of up to 40 people. So it looks like an online summit, virtual summit, online conference. Basically, you and other people co-create something of value to draw in an audience of people that fit your target audience and their target audience. So basically you get to cross promote each other's audiences and are able to share the audience that's built. So you and the people that you co-create the event with or the collaboration with are both able to attract clients, build your email list, make money, right? Build your authority, expand your visibility. So, and this also expands your network in a very authentic way, because if you organize a collaboration project and the people that are part of it, they stand behind your vision for the collaboration project, it's an authentic way to create something of value for the people that you want to help. I think that is a great way to expand your network, because you're putting on you're both doing something together. And I think that is a great way to build authentic relationships with people to expand your network. Another thing that a collaboration projects do and why it's important is because it quickly builds trust with new people. Third thing, it skyrockets your visibility because it creates leverage that you cannot create by yourself, right? And the number one mistake that I see with collaboration projects, because maybe you've done something like that before. Well, the number one mistake is partnering with anyone and everyone. I do not recommend that. See, not everyone, you're not meant to partner with everyone. Not everyone stands behind your vision. Not everyone has skin in the game. So it is very important that if you are going to partner with somebody, that you not only screen them, but you make sure that they understand what they're getting into. And that's what I help my clients with, to make sure that they have the right people who are part of the collaboration project. Number 2 mistake is not using collaboration projects at all to build momentum. It does not matter what you do. It does not matter what you sell. You could be organizing collaboration projects. This is what successful people do. They never do things by themselves. The best way to build momentum and get some leverage fast is to collaborate, to partner with people. Do not try to do everything alone, because you don't have to. No one said that you have to realize your vision for the business and the incredible life that you desire to live. No one said that you have to do it alone. There's plenty of people that support you. Just a matter of connecting with them. Okay. All right. So let's talk about some case studies of a couple of people. I have Carol and Jamie. They actually implemented collaboration into their business. And let me share Carol first. Okay, Carol, wellness coach. And I had to get a clip of the case study because it wouldn't fit on this slide, but it says, where were you in your business before working with Stacie? She said that she was a bit scattered and overwhelmed and was just starting her business. So as I mentioned before, like if anyone is new to starting their business, I'm always going to recommend collaboration because that is a great way to build momentum fast. So it's either you want to, grow your business at a snail pace, or you have some people that are willing to support you and actually let you get access to their audiences that are already built. That is a great way for you to get the traction you need to get that first set of clients or customers in. It says, what were your goals working with Stacie? Carol said, mainly to increase my visibility and self-confidence regarding my business. So I attract a lot of introverts. Carol, definitely an introvert. I'm an introvert, just in case you didn't know. And usually when I recommend this to my clients who are introverts, they're very uncomfortable with this. And I was too. But the thing is, we're all human. We need connection. And I think the beautiful thing is that since I'm an introvert, I usually attract other introverts. So it's usually the same thing with my clients too. So they end up collaborating with other introverts and build these amazing relationships. So since she wanted to build her visibility and get a boost in her self-confidence, she was able to not only to get featured, she got featured in several places. She was able to collaborate with people and put it to the test. And this is what she had to say. What shifts did you experience working with Stacie? I shifted a lot regarding feeling comfortable with being visible, because that's what collaboration does. It makes you visible. I participated in multiple collaboration projects that helped me build my confidence levels and also my potential client base. Beautiful. Okay, Jamie. Let me get to Jamie. Jamie, she's a freelance writer and a copywriter. And where she was in her business before working with me, she was completely unsure of her niche, but she was clear that she wanted her own business. And she was motivated without anywhere to put it. That's what she said, motivated without anywhere to put it. She's a creative. I noticed, like with a lot of the creatives that I work with, they have so many ideas and their attention spans everywhere because they want to they want to have all creations done, right? So with Jamie, I helped her execute her first summit. Her first collaboration project. So that was her goal, was to get her business off the ground and execute her first summit. And the shifts that she experienced was that she found her niche. Like, she didn't even have to know what her niche was. Okay. Which is great with these collaboration projects. Like, she didn't have a product and she didn't have a niche, but she had a vision of what type of collaboration project she wanted to build. So she started there. And she said, I found my niche and I learned what my platform is. And I created my whole system and I learned about doing a summit and I created my first summit. Amazing. So she didn't even have the answers to everything, which was fine. You don't have to have the answers for everything. She understood how the framework worked, right? Because of course I explained it to her, and she was able to fill in the gaps just from doing the work and staying focused on her vision of what she wanted, and everything fell into place. So this is the same thing with you. You don't have to have everything figured out. Matter of fact, I would rather you not, because if you have too many things that you think you must do, it's only going to slow you down. So I'm about you focusing on what's going to bring in the cash flow the fastest right now as you're building out your foundation for your business through the Attract, Engage, and Profit framework. All right. So that is it for today. Day 3, the implementation work. You are going to start envisioning like where you see yourself getting featured. What type of collaboration project do you see yourself organizing? So, and then also, what was it? I went blank for a minute. Yeah, so that's what you're going to be doing. It's like thinking about like collaboration projects, people that you could partner with, places that you can be featured. And this is just a brainstorm, because I know there are some people that you would love to partner with. I mean, there's always one person, even if it's a celebrity. Put it down. The sky's the limit. Like, anything's possible for you. If you find somebody that stands behind your vision or understands your vision for a collaboration project, they're going to be all in. They're going to be all in. Guaranteed it. Guaranteed it. All right. So let's see here. So the implementation exercise should be in your inbox. If it's not, please reach out to me. And then tomorrow is our last day, which is probably the one that you're going to be most excited about, because it's about that money. But remember, in order for you to make that money, you need the other components of the framework down, which is why we went over the other stuff first. So I'm going to be breaking down the most important components of the profit phase of the AEP framework. And you're going to discover how to design a rinse and repeat sales system that makes it easy for dream clients and customers to invest in your offers, not just once, but over and over and over again. All right, that is it. And I look forward to seeing the, what answers, what answers you're going to have on your implementation exercises. And again, if you have any questions for me, do not hesitate to reach out to me via email, or you can put your questions in the comments in the group. All right.